It's been a long journey, 2,012 kilometres to be exact. 2 years ago, 32-year-old Carl Taff walked the length of New Zealand to raise awareness about suicide.
I think the year that I did the walk, it was 508 people commit suicide, which is just, it's astronomical when you look at that. And the majority of those people were aged between 18 to 25, so, facts don't lie. So it's like an epidemic, we've got a massive problem.
At one stage, Carl also contemplated taking his life. He says around 80% of people who commit suicide have suffered from depression. He once did, and says it made him feel trapped.
It's like being in a dark room, and you know that you need help, and there's people out there that are telling you, we want to help you, but it's like inside the dark room, there's no doors and there's no windows, and you can't, and inside your mind it's almost like you can't escape.
And in the past year, that was the case for 547 who suicided. The Chief Coroner says 80 of those occurred in the 15 to 19-year-old age group, an increase on previous years.
They're not always the poor and depressed who commit suicide. Sometimes it's a apparently perfectly normal teenager, with loving family support, and yet something tips them over. Usually because it's male to female, 3 to 1.
Chris McPherson was a straight A student studying engineering at Canterbury University. He left this flat on August 4th last year. He was never to return home. His flatmates shocked to hear his death was self-inflicted.
I never would have, when I met Chris, anticipated that would ever happen, I think, really. But, there does seem to almost be some pattern in, really, really intelligent, bright, happy, on the outside people.
In New Zealand, it's a multicultural problem. Last year, 132 Māori took their own lives. Linda Dobbs lost her former Māori partner Billy to suicide nearly a decade ago, but says even today it's still having an effect.
Especially on my son. He finds it very hard to express his feelings about it, to talk about it, to just understand it.
While the taboo surrounding suicide has diminished in recent years, on a world scale, our rates are still too high.
We're up there in the higher leagues. You have to remember that we have a very transparent system here because we have a coronial system. We call it as it is. We don't hide suicide.
Linda Dobbs agrees, but she believes not all the deaths are recorded.
You can attempt suicide and not die and get taken to hospital and then die of the causes, but that's not related to suicide. So the statistics are actually a lot higher than are put out.
Carl Taff has overcome his battles with depression and suicide and urges others not to give up hope.
You just got to stick at it and just continue just to persist, and it will get better, and just don't be afraid to ask for help.
Carl plans another long walk, this time up the east coast of Australia, to raise international awareness about suicide, while many here still believe there's a long way to go to reduce the current rates. Lela-Anne Fraser, Metro News.